everyone, it's Mr. Smith coming to give you a lesson. I guess this will be the first digital recorded lesson, and we're going to talk about some 16th note patterns and review some of that stuff for your upcoming submission on number 113. So I'm here in the general music room. Maybe you've been in here and you recognize this place. But I was able to get into the school today. It's actually Thursday before spring break and record some stuff early. But let's check some of this stuff out. So 113 is what you're going to have to submit on Smart Music. Before we get to this 113, I want to check out a few other exercises. So either in your book or on Smart Music, I'd like you to go to number 77. And this is going to be just a rhythm exercise to review 16th note patterns. What I'd like you to do is really follow these directions exactly. First thing you're going to do, clap the rhythm before you play. Before you do that, I want you to write in your counts if you haven't done so already. So pause the video and write in your counts for this number 77. I'm going to do it really quickly here. Okay, so you can compare to my answers and see how you did. I've got, and maybe do this along with me, 1, 2, and 3, end of 4. 1, 2, and 3, end of 4. 1, 2, and 3, end of 4. 1, and a 2, and a 3, 4. So you can see how well, or check your answers against mine and find out how you did. Now I'm going to erase this real quick. And let's go and just make sure we can review all of our 16th note patterns. So here's a really nice graphic that shows you all of the different 16th note patterns, 8th note, 16th note patterns that exist. And it gives you the counting down below. So it breaks it into your one full beat of 16th notes, 1, E, and Now that would be for this number 2 pattern here, 1, E, and If you had just 8th notes, what would that be? 1, and. I hope you said 1, and. So I'll write that in. 1, E, and Boy, that's kind of hard to see. Let me get a different color. Okay, let's try this. 1, and. 1, E, and Now we have 2 16ths and an 8th. I'm going to give that 1, E, and. 8th, 2 16ths. 1, and Now here's a funny one. 16th note, 8th note, 16th note. Let's make this 1, E, because the and is sort of inside there. If you can see this blue line, how it draws across, that's a nice one. Here's a dotted 8th note, 16th note. Remember that dotted figures take your regular value. If you got a quarter note, that's equal to 1 beat. Now if you have a dot, it adds half the original value. So let's get a different color here. How about purple? So half of 1 is a half. So 1 and a half. Now this is equal to 1 and 1/2 beat. So if you have an 8th note with a dot, that's going to be, well, an 8th note, regular 8th note is, let's see, is a half a beat, and a half of a half is a quarter. So a half plus a quarter is going to equal 3/4 of a beat. So we'll change this. And we don't usually talk about it in terms of quarters of a beat, but here's one full beat, 1 E and up. And there's your 4 quarters. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, 1 E and up. So our, as you can see, our dotted eighth note is going to get 3/4 of a beat, 1 E and then the last quarter is going to be our up. So I'll write in my counts just like that. 1 E, ooh. 1 E and Now here's our last one, and it shows it for us here. 1 E and All right. I hope that was sort of helpful review. I like this graphic. I think I'll share it when I send this video out. I'll put it in the comments of the video. That'd be a good way for you to get access to it. You can also use your book to review these figures. So on page 16 and 17 at the top of the page, if you have your real book with you, there's blue boxes, counting and conducting, that look at these 8th and 16th note patterns. Same with page 15. So 15, 16, 17, the blue boxes at the top, and 18's got your dotted patterns at the top. So those are great reviews if you're not quite sure, or this isn't really an easy way for you to see it. You can always look at 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, let's now take a look at what's due for this week's key concept, Skill Builder 113. With your new knowledge, I would like you to pause the video, or if you haven't done this already, and write in your counts for this number 113, and I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, so hopefully you got the same thing that I did. Let's count and clap it together slowly. 1 and 2 and ready and go. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 E and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 E and 1 E and 2 and 1 E and 2 and 1, 2. Couple things to be careful of in this one is to make sure you know the difference between these two groupings of 16th and 8th notes. These two groupings are different. So you got 2 16ths followed by an 8th here, 1 E and then this one is an 8th followed by 2 16ths, 2 and. So make sure to be careful of those. Here's a dotted pattern right here. Here's a dotted 8th note, so 3/4 of a beat, we talked about that just a second ago, followed by a 16th note, 1 E and 3/4, 4, 1 E and and then this is a tie right here. Careful with that. So this is going to connect these two 16ths together with the tie. 1 E and It's actually the same as this figure here, 2 and 1 and a 2 and 1, 2. Let's try that one more time. Count and clap. 1 and a 2 and ready and go. 1 and a 2 and a 1 and 2 and 1 E and 2 and a 1 and 2 and 1 and a 2 E and 1 E and a 2 and a 1 E and a 2 and 1, 2. Okay, hopefully that was easy enough for you. Let's see if we can play it. I've got my trumpet here, and maybe you can play along with me. 1 and a 2 and ready and go. Messed up this ending bit here. You know what? I made a huge mistake. I made a common mistake that middle schoolers make all the time. This is a slur. This is not a tie. So let's change this. Kind of hard to see on smart music because these notes are different, so they can't be tied together. It must be a slur. So let's do a little bit more erasing. I caught it when I was playing here. See, teachers make mistakes too. Let's see. So this is a slur. Ta, 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 ta. It's just indicating how I should tongue these notes. So let's make this instead. What should we make it? I'm going to make it 1 E and a. Ta, 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 ta. Let's try it one more time together. Now that we've got that situated. 1 and a 2 and ready and go. Okay, hopefully that went pretty well for you. So once you've rehearsed this enough and you're confident on it, you can go ahead and hit the red record button at home and try to get your best recording, and then there'll be an option to submit your recording. And if you're not sure how to do that, go and watch my Canvas crash course video that's on our YouTube channel, or Canvas, our Smart Music crash course video that's on our YouTube channel, and it shows you how to go through that process of recording and submitting. But this is our key concept for this week, so it's due that Friday, April 3rd, I believe is the date, that first week that we're back from our spring break. So there you go, that's our 16th note review, and I hope that was helpful. And of course, if you have any questions, you can shoot me an email, or you can get into one of our Google Meet live sessions and ask me in person, or as close to in person as we can get right now. So there you go. Give it a shot. Okay, hello percussionists, or anybody who stuck around to the end of this video because they wanted to, I don't know. This is the percussion half of number 113 on snare drum that we're going to take a look at here today. And there's some tricky things in here. Especially pay attention to the sticking up top here on this top line, as well as this measure here is all left-hand lead, which is kind of challenging, and then this figure up until this tie here is kind of challenging with this 16th note. So the counting is the same as 113 for the wind players, but the snare drum part is a little challenging. I also wanted to point out, I'm here in the general music room and I've stolen the snare drum, the Ludwig Standard, off of the Tama kit that's here that I use to teach drum set, and then I found these sticks in one of the drawers. These are the like rubber grip Zildjian kind of stick, and I played, it's just funny to me because I played many shows in middle school and high school with this exact stick on drum set. So it's not really a traditional snare drum stick, but I thought I'd share that with you because it's kind of fun. So let's take a look at this really slowly. Let's first take a look at this figure here. So we have, without the roll, 1 and. With the roll, 1 and. Left, left, left. Let's try that together. 1 and 2 and, ready and go. 1 and. Again and go. Left, left, left. One more time, ready, go. Left, left, left. Okay, nice. Let's take a look at this measure here. So we have, without the roll, 1, a 2, and. 1, a 2, and. Try it with me, no roll. Ready, go. 1, a 2, and. Okay, now let's see if we can add the roll. Sounds like this. Roll, a 2, roll 1. Again, try it with me. Ready, go. Roll, a 2, roll 1. Again, 2, ready, and go. Roll, a 2, roll 1. 1, a 2, brrrr. Let's try them together, starting on this measure, the left measure. 1, 2, ready, and go. Left, left, left. 1, a 2, roll 1. One more time. 1, 2, ready, go. Left, left, left. 1, a 2, roll 1. Now let's try from the very beginning. Here we go. 1 and a 2 and, ready, and go. 1 and a 2 and, 1 and a 2 and, 1 and 2 and, 1 and a 2 and. Left, left, left. 1, a 2, roll 1 and a 2 and, left, left. Repeat. 1, 2 and, 1 and a 2 and, 1 and 2 and, 1 and a 2 and. Left, 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 left. 2 and 1, 2. Let's try it in slow motion now. 1 and a 2 and, ready and go. Okay. So that's kind of it. Again, if you have questions, you want to see what the rudiments look like up close on my snare, hopefully you can see it. But I'm happy to hop into a Google Meet chat with you so you can see, maybe a closer shot of that. So there you go. Give that a shot.